can be only one podcast, and may it be the Prince of the Universe. Hi, folks. I'm Matt, and I am by myself. Brandon and Wes will be coming back probably next week. It is completely my fault why they're not here this week. I scheduled with them, and then I had to cancel last minute because I just remembered I have a colonoscopy the next day. And usually that isn't an issue, but if anyone's ever had a colonoscopy, first off, I went to go see the doctor in December. Don't go see the doctor in December. He ran a blood test on me, and shame. I should have known, but I eat anything from November 1st to December 31st. I eat anything and everything. Desserts, candy, junk food. I go out to eat a lot. And so I wasn't eating my best. And so my triglycerides, I guess, I don't know what they're called, they were very high, and he was very upset with me. And I was like, dude, if you check me any other time of the year, I'm fine. Like, if you had checked me in October, I'd have been cool. But and I had a lack of vitamin D, which everyone does in the wintertime because we don't go out as much. So he put me on a diet. I'm usually on a diet the first 2 months out of the year. This year I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do the diet. I'm not. I try to keep in a size 36. And last year I said, screw it. You know, I got into a 36 after my diet, but I thought, you know what? I'm tired of fighting it. I'm just going to go 38. So I'm size 38. I'm going to accept it from my life now. There's no point in me slipping into those skinny jeans, you know, or just fighting to keep in them every year. I'll just go 38, and that way no more diet. But the doc said diet. So now I need to find some 36s. I threw a lot of them away. But the belt I have is on its last loop, and I'm wearing 38s. So I can probably fit into a 36 again via probably without a belt. But at the same time, you know, oh well, now I've got all 38s. Note to self, don't see him in December. I'm going to push it back as much as I can next year. Anyway, one of the things he talked about was getting a colonoscopy. As you know, it used to be 50 years old, but they backed it up to 45. And now I'm 46. So that means I can get it now. Whoopee. I didn't want one, but since, you know, I was like, well, you know what? I guess I'll go ahead and do it. The doc's already pissed at me. I'll get that done, get that out of the way. And so when we were going to schedule, I realized, I woke up Sunday morning and I realized, holy cow, on the day before, you can't eat, which is not a problem. I've gone several times without food in a day. In a work day when I used to work at a bank, we didn't get lunch breaks. That's against the law, but now it is what it was. It was what it was back in the early 2000s. So you didn't get a lunch break. And so I decided to, there's many a day I went without food. Some days we do an all-day gaming thing, and I will forget to eat. You know, everyone else will eat, but while everyone else is eating, I'm setting up the next game, or I'm doing something, I'm serving everyone, and I don't get to eat. So there has been days where I have not eaten at all. Not every day. I don't starve myself. But that wasn't the hard part. That you can't eat the day before. That's not a problem. Check. Got it. Not a problem. The only thing you can't have is beef broth. I did have some beef broth. Meh. You can drink teas, water, juices, as long as nothing is red or purple. Can't have red or purple dye. You can have clear sodas, which my energy drinks are clear, so I could have two. I had 2 energy drinks. Something I never do. It's against the rule, but I granny sipped one in the morning and then granny sipped one in the afternoon and all the way through the evening. I granny sipped it to 11:20. You can't drink anything after midnight. And I cracked that one open shortly after 2 p.m. And I remember thinking, wow, I've never had a second one. Usually I break one open about 7:30 when I get to work and granny sip it till 2. Just take little sips out of it. And that's only if the kids didn't let me sleep, which is every night now, every night. I'm trying to get off of them a lot. I went a few weeks over Christmas and New Year's without having any because my kids slept. So that was really nice. But then they started waking up again in the middle of the night. I got 3 hours 2 nights ago and, oh gosh, maybe 4 tonight today. But I mean, this past night. So I've been needing them. But I just granny sip them. And then at 2 o'clock, I'm done, or 1 or 2. Well, this one I'd finished around 2. I cracked open my second one. I granny sipped that sucker for another 7-8 hours. So bad idea. Had a little bit of trouble going to sleep last night. But, it was something that just curbed my appetite and I was fine. So the starving yourself thing, there's no problem with me on that. I just feel that was the easy part. The hard part is drinking down that swill. And this is what I started thinking, because when I read the instructions, it makes you go to the bathroom a lot. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, well, if Wes and Brandon come over, because we're going to have Brandon back. He was a lot of fun. I really like the dude. I'm glad we're reconnecting after so long. Just because, and now I feel bad that I didn't connect with him earlier. He's just a good dude. He's a really good dude. And I was really happy to have him over. And I was just telling my wife the other day, I was like, you know what? People like that, there's a ton of people that are out there that probably live here in town that I've not talked to in ages. And I should reach out. I should reach out more. Because, shoot, we could have been better friends. I hope we're going to be good friends moving forward, but could have been better friends. If I, it's all me, that I could have kept up with him. But either way, glad to have him back. But then I thought, holy cow, when they're talking, I'm going to be going up to the bathroom every 20 minutes, which is true. After a while, after drinking it, I think it was like at 3:30, it was like every 30 minutes at least, and it's, not to be too gross, it's diarrhea a lot. It's just cleaning out your colon, right? So they can look it through. And I knew what it was, but the swill is so nasty. It's kind of there's a thickness. It looks like clear water, but there's a thickness to it, like syrup in a way. And they give you some lemon flavoring. I never tasted the lemon. It's like a big gallon jug. You're literally drinking a gallon of water, and it's a sweet. There's a little sweetness to it, but it's not that good, and it kind of tastes like a plastic bag at times. It's just really not good. And so, my word to the wise on that. That's the worst part, is drinking it, not pooping all the time. That's not a problem. The worst part is drinking it, because it sucks. You have to drink a glass every 20 minutes until you're to the halfway point. Word to the wise, drink 1 glass past the halfway point. You'll thank yourself, because in the evening, it's even harder to get down, because by then, you know what it tastes like and you're not ready for it. So what I did is I didn't drink anything beside my soda I was sipping. I didn't drink anything else. I was a little thirsty. I cannot gulp a soda or a energy drink. I just can't anymore. Perish the thought. But I was like, you know what? I'll gulp that first glass. I gulped down that first glass, poured myself a second one, and tried gulping it down. Oh, and then that's when it hit me. This stuff is not that good. But 20 minutes goes by like that. You don't even expect it. Like, you're like, oh man, I got to finish this glass. There's 17 minutes left, and I got to pour another one in 3 minutes. And it wouldn't suck if you had something salty maybe to drink with it or something to eat with it. It wouldn't be that bad, but you can't eat. And you don't want to drink anything else, because that stuff is kind of nasty, and it does fill you up. I wasn't thinking about getting food at that point either. But that's the hardest part, is drinking it. Especially that last glass. Man, when you pour it in, you're like, ugh. By then you're just, by the last 3 glasses, I was just done. I was done. I don't want to have anything to do with that yucky swill again. And my girls were laughing because Daddy was making faces. I just thought it was awful. But I just kept gulping. I put it down, and just barely 1/3 of the glass. But it felt like I'd been drinking forever, So I could not get to the bottom of these glasses fast enough. But I finally did, and then finish it off with the rest of my energy drink, which I should not have. But anyway, I did check and make sure. I was like, oh wait, was that the last thing I was supposed to drink in the day? And then when you wake up the next morning, you're not supposed to drink at all. And I guess that's because that liquid is kind of, it's kind of thick. I guess it makes a coating, I'm guessing, so that when they push the little snake camera up there, they can, ease around without tearing up your innards. I'm guessing. I don't know. But it made sense. Now, for anyone who hasn't had one, you're in the clear when you start just pooping yellow piss. It's like piss. Sorry to be too graphic there. But anyway, that's it. And that happened at the end of the night. At the end of the night, I could see it, and then this morning. And so you have to wake up early. They do these things early in the morning because they want you to eat. They know everyone's really hungry. They kept asking me, "Are you hungry?" That's the hardest part, starving yourself. And what are you going to eat when you get out? You going to get a burger or something? Eat whatever. The doctor said, eat whatever, when I got out. Well, not really, because I'm on a low-carb diet, doc, but I can't do anything. Sucks. I tried to get out of it early. I did not eat the morning of my doctor's appointment, my checkup in January, and I was down 10 pounds, and he was happy. I was like, can I go ahead and get my blood tested? He kind of turned to me and smiled, and he went, no. End of February. He said, you want to get off that diet? I went, I do want to get off the diet, but I have to wait till the end of February, which is fine. He thinks I'm going to cheat for Mardi Gras, but I hate king cake. I've never liked king cake. I think king cake is nasty. Oh, Matt, you need to try this king cake. Oh, you need to try. No, king cake is just, no, it's too sugary, too much frosting or icing on it. And I've heard there's good king cakes out there. And I'm sure there are, but like a honey bun. I can't eat a honey bun either. It's just too sweet. And this is like a honey bun times 10. Now, you're thinking this is the same guy that can eat Cadbury eggs? True, but I can only eat one per day because they are pretty sweet too. But I do love my Cadbury egg. But, I mean, that's about the much sweetness as I can take on my dessert. So I'm not even tempted by a king cake or anything from Mardi Gras. So I'm really fine. Like I could eat crawfish on my diet, but they're not making crawfish here because there was a drought in Louisiana for 90 days or something. It killed off some of our bushes. I'm going to have to cut them this spring if they don't grow back, which I don't think they are. But now a few crawfish places are closing in town because there's not a good supply out. The supply will be late in coming since the crawfish supposedly bury deeper into the ground when there's a drought to get to the water. I don't know how this works. I was just reading about it. But that was off topic. I digress. Indeed, I digress. Anyone who hasn't had a colonoscopy before, should you get one? Yeah, I guess. I mean, colon cancer is a big deal. They can get rid of it ahead of time by grabbing what's called polyps out of your colon. Polyps can turn cancerous over time, but if they're found early enough, you're good. So go ahead and get it. The worst thing is not the diarrhea. Your stomach's not always in pain, is what I'm saying. You just go every few minutes, and it's really quick, and you're done. I mean, honestly, that was not a bad part. The bad part is drinking that swill. It's really bad, and there's a gallon of it. So you just do the best. Do the best you can. You drink half of it 2 from whenever, and then the other half at 9 from whatever. And that last leg is so hard. I'm glad I drank an extra glass in my afternoon one because I said, you know what, in the evening I may get tired of this. In the evening I was right. I was tired. The last 3 glasses went down hard. I did not like that stuff. But once it was done, that's really the hardest part you got. You show up. They do these early in the morning because, they want you to eat. And you're allowed to wear your shirt, and your socks, but of course nothing else. And they give you plenty of covers. They keep it nice and warm. It was 73, I think, in there, and I had the blankets are really warm. I guess they're pre-warmed in a dryer or whatever, or maybe a little heating area, so that was really nice. They all talk to you. Mine played music for me. They said, what band do you like? And I was like, I guess Weezer, so she played some Weezer. I didn't care. I would have picked something a little bit different, to be honest. But anyway, Doc came in, shook my hand. They gave me the IV. They gave me the little stick. You feel like a little cold up your arm, or at least I did. You lay down, and I'll be honest, it was maybe just 3 seconds. I felt the cold up my arm, felt it in my head, and then I was out. And, of course, the next thing I remember, I was rolling up, and I noticed I wasn't in the surgery room anymore. I was in the waiting room. Exactly 45 minutes had passed, and they told me that they let me sleep. They said, usually we wake you up, but it's a slow day today, so we let you sleep. So I don't know how long I was there, but colonoscopy only take like 30 minutes, let's say. Maybe I slept for 10, 15. It was good. I only had one polyp, un polyp, but unfortunately, if you have one polyp, for the life of one, you have to come back in 5 years. Boo! Boo, I did not like that. I was hoping if you only have one or none, you could come back 10 years. If you have none, it's 10 years, which is great. But if you have one, I get it. More can pop up. So they want to check you every 5 years. I'm not happy about doing this every 5 years, but it is what it is. I had the polyp, so oh well. But it's just one. Just one. He didn't find anything else in there. So, boo. But anyway, that's why you do this, is because it's healthy for you. And it's 100% paid for. You don't pay for anything. Any insurance will pay for it, because it's better than you getting colon cancer and them having to pay for that. So they'll definitely pay for the preventative measures. Now, when you get out, they won't let you. They'll let you put on. They won't let you stand by yourself. You got to put on your shoes before you stand. They say, because you will fall. If something jumps over, you will be drowsy. Yeah, I felt like I just woken up from a nap, but I wasn't really that bad. They say you can't drive for the full day. I guess I feel fine. Like I said, by the time we got home, I was like, I feel great. I feel like normal again. I ran upstairs, went downstairs. I was a little worried going down the stairs, thinking, will I pass out? I did not, so everything's cool there. But now I'm all done. You don't feel anything. You're thinking, oh, does it feel weird up in there, up in that canal, Matt? No, it doesn't. Actually, it feels normal. You have to pass some gas. You don't have stomach pains, though, on it. I thought, oh, there's a lot of gas in there and your stomach hurts. No. And by the way, sometimes this guy passes gas anyway. So it's an average day for me. All right. I did hear from someone, even though I haven't experienced that yet, is that sometimes when you pass gas, you may want to, sit over a toilet because you don't know if it's expelling any leftovers. That's what he told me. I haven't had that yet, but at the same time, it's kind of cool. It just went by like that, and I was out in time to get back to work. So the day was there, but I do apologize for Brandon and Wes because of that. I forgot that makes you go a lot, and if they would have come here, I would have gone 3 times at least to the bathroom, and they would have been quick. It would have been quick, just a couple of minutes each, but that would have disrupted the podcast, and Wes probably would have been pissed. So I didn't do it. But anyway, so these guys will be here next week. Now, that was a very long explanation. I didn't mean to go on so long, but that's fine because, when there's one person here, it's hard to fill up 30 minutes. Now, I think I can easily fill up, the remaining 13 minutes with my review of Aquaman 2. Folks, I don't ask anyone else to watch these terrible movies anymore. I say terrible, and you're like, Matt, why do you keep watching them? Okay, so for DC, am I done? This is the end of the Snyderverse. By the way, if anyone saw, I can't remember which podcast it was a long time ago when Man of Steel came out. I hated Man of Steel. I want to say we discussed Man of Steel on a very old episode of Prince of the Universe, because Man of Steel came out it feels like 10 years ago now. And years ago on Saturday Morning Santa Flange, we reviewed Batman v Superman, the second movie, I think it was. And I reviewed it with my good friends Mark Desitel and Tom. So it was a lot of fun. We did that one. No one knows this. We did that one live in Phoenix. In fact, we did it at work too. We took a lunch break. And I just recorded the podcast during the lunch break, and they both came in. They were working with me, and we just grabbed a quick lunch and did a 30-minute podcast with, or maybe it was an hour back then. I don't know, but we did one real quick before everyone else came back. But anyway, I've never liked the Snyderverse. I think the Snyderverse was the wrong way to go. I've hated everything about it, mostly. Now that I've seen Aquaman 2, I can safely say which is the best. And this is not complimenting anything. I do think the best one. Well, hold on. Let me talk about Aquaman 2 first. All right. First off, Aquaman, the first movie. I enjoyed it. It's one of the few DC movies I've enjoyed. Flash, Wonder Woman, the first one, Aquaman, and then the last Suicide Squad movie. Those are the 4 that I've liked. That's been the top. And those aren't the cream of the crop. Those aren't excellent movies. Aquaman and Wonder Woman both had issues for me. But they were better than all the crap that DC has put out since. DC is all crap except for those 2. Maybe they're decent. And then 2 good movies would be Flash. I did like The Flash. And Suicide Squad, which I really enjoyed too. Now, so Aquaman 2 comes out. Will it be? I'm a little bit hopeful. I'm not begrudgingly watching this one because, the first one was decent. I like Jason Momoa, and I still think he's a good Aquaman. I think it was enjoyable. But of course, my wife, who loves Jason Momoa, was not going to watch this. And you guessed it, folks, Amber Heard. Amber Heard is despised by a lot of people, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. She's a dirtbag. But she's rarely in this. In fact, I think I counted 11 lines in the whole movie. And the first one is in the first half of the movie, and the other 10 are at the end of the movie. And by the way, the only time I lost a little bit of count is there's a scene where they take their baby. The bad guy takes the baby. And so there's a lot from her going, no, my baby, no, my baby. She's doing that. And I don't remember how many of those she did, so I'm not counting those lines, okay? Because it was just a lot of screaming going on. But I want to say she had one line at the very, first 10 minutes of the movie, and then you hardly see her. She doesn't even talk. If she's there, she's in the background, and then she has maybe 10 more lines. So did she get cut down from this movie? Absolutely. They knew what they were doing. They knew she's toxic, box office toxic there, so they cut her down. I never liked her in the first one either, so it doesn't matter. But my wife refuses to watch it because it has Amber Heard in it, and she hates Amber Heard. Even though she loves Jason Momoa, her hatred for Amber Heard won out. So probably one of the reasons this movie didn't do as good is because of Amber Heard, I think. Because I think it did okay. Not that great, but okay. And I think it would have been better if she hadn't have been in it. But, of course, they announced the end of the DC. And this is the end of the DC, the Snyderverse. Thank goodness. This movie is bad. Bruce and I was going to have Bruce on. He didn't show again. Thanks, Bruce. So at night, I was doing another podcast with someone else, and I said, well, at 10 o'clock, I'll just, he'll come on in, come upstairs. We'll wrap up this podcast, and then I'll get him. But he never showed. And then I was editing the podcast waiting for him, and I just lost track of time. But anyway, Bruce watched Gen V, and he agrees with me that it's so woke, it's funny. Like say the new Saved by the Bell season, so woke, it's funny. This Aquaman, it's almost cheesy. It's almost so woke, it's funny, but they pull back in time because the one thing that made me laugh, so woke, it's funny, was, do you know how the villain came about? Do you know how he got freed from his prison? Global warming. And they say that. See, that's how bad global warming is. It even frees supervillains. That was laughable. That was extremely laughable. But that's really the only big moment. Now, they're all about save the environment, and there's the tired trope of the Atlanteans. Why should we help the humans? They have polluted our waters for years. They're going to destroy their own world with their pollution. It felt like a 90s Captain Planet episode. I swear to you, that's what the whole thing felt like. Because the whole time, the bad guy, which is Black Manta, who I like, he gets possessed by this evil spirit who got freed during the global warming. And Black Manta goes, thank goodness for global warming. And the scientist goes, ooh, not the right thing to say. Like global warming's bad. And one time, because they're mining this very highly toxic, polluted mineral, and it's destroying both the earth and the land. And the scientist gets worried because, besides money, he really cares about the earth and the pollution that they're putting in, because that's how every scientist feels. They really care about the pollution. And so he's really worried about the pollution. He went, we're polluting, we're destroying our earth. He went, we're doing nothing that humans haven't done for years. We're just speeding up the process. Like they're going to destroy. And it felt like Captain Planet all over again. So that's laughable. It's not so woke, it's, funny. Except for that one moment with global warming being the cause of the villain's release. That was really stupid. But and it's really sad that that's the only idea they can have for Aquaman. How many Aquaman episodes have they talked about polluting the water? You're polluting the water. I can't help you because you pollute the water or you kill the whales. Can Aquaman do something different? Can we do something different with Aquaman? No, I guess not. And by the way, I guess no one cared. The only good scene is 20 minutes of him and his brother running around, I guess, the Lost Kingdom, and there's a lot of humor in that one. Like when, and spoilers here, by the way, but when he remembers to tell his brother, Ocean Master, that, oh, by the way, Mom says she loves you, she thinks about you every day. And this is while they're running away from some creature. He went, why you want to tell me that now? He went, because I forgot earlier. It's really funny. There's a lot of good scenes with them, and that's it. That's really the only thing good about it. He tricks his brother into eating a cockroach by convincing him that cockroaches are delicacies on Earth, And of course, his brother, who doesn't know, fish out of water story, ha ha, he eats the cockroach. He goes, not bad. And the stinger at the end, spoilers again, is he's sitting down on the pier eating a greasy hamburger and having a beer, which is what Jason Momoa said. That's the best thing in the world, having a greasy hamburger and having a beer. So he's eating it. And he eats it and goes, he's like, yeah, this is pretty good. But then he sees a cockroach climbing on his table. So you know what he does. He puts that cockroach and puts it in the hamburger and eats it. And he loves it even better with a cockroach in it. Ha ha ha. Now there's no special appearance by anyone else. I didn't think there would be because this is the end now. They're done with special appearances. And now the Snyderverse is dead. May it never rise again. I've always hated the Snyderverse. I think it's awful. The best is Aquaman good. No, Aquaman does not fall. The first movie is better. But ranking those 4 that I enjoyed, Wonder Woman would be 4th, Aquaman would be 3rd, and then a big step up is Suicide Squad by James Gunn. And then finally, I would put Flash above this, even though I don't like the actor. It was an enjoyable movie, more than I thought it would be. So, and mainly Michael Keaton scenes are really good. But those are my 4 there. Now, the Snyderverse is done, thank goodness. Am I going to watch James Gunn's new DC universe? I don't know. I mean, I do like his movies that he's done for Marvel. I think Guardians of the Galaxy have been really fun, 1, 2, and 3. And the Suicide Squad and his Peacemaker TV show that was really funny too. So far, he has a winning track record for me. I have nothing against James Gunn. I know a lot of people are like, oh, man, he's going to ruin the DC universe and everything. Maybe. I'll give it a shot. I will give it a shot. I'm ready to see a fresh start. I hate the Snyderverse. I know I'm happy to see that go. Like, I almost wanted to applaud at the end credits of Aquaman because I knew that was it for the Snyderverse. I don't have to watch it ever again. I did ask Bruce if he'd seen Aquaman 2. He said not yet. So we couldn't talk about that. And so am I done with comic book movies? Not yet. Now Marvel, I'm weighing my options. I'm weighing my options if I'm going to be done with Marvel. Because this new movie, what's it called, Madam Web or whatever that's coming out, no interest whatsoever. Even when it comes out, I don't know if I'm going to watch it. If Bruce watches it, maybe. But I think I'm basically done with Marvel. DC, I'm ready. If they're going to reboot and everything, I'm ready to give them a new life and see what they do. I don't like Robert Pattinson's Batman. I don't know what the status is of that one, but DC's always been a mess when it comes to that. Joker 2, guess what, folks? Don't care. Don't care. Unless Bruce wants to talk about it, then I'll watch it. I have no desire to see Joker 2. I did not like Joker. I just didn't think it was that good. Plus, Joker's like in his mid-40s. Batman's really young. So wait a minute. When Batman becomes older, Joker's going to be in his mid-60s and be his arch nemesis? I don't know. And plus, Joker. I get it. A clown, a broken man or whatnot. Yeah. Move on to something new. Joker's old news. I like the Riddler. I want to see Riddler come back in a show. Not the one from the newest Batman movie. That was awful. Awful Riddler. But, and I guess they're done with Riddler now. I guess we won't see one for another 10, 15 years now. Another version of the Riddler. But I hope we do. Anyway, so that's it. That's my review of Aquaman 2, The Last Kingdom, I think is what it's called. And so, yeah, should you watch it? No, you probably shouldn't watch any of these. In fact, that's the other thing. I watched it while I was doing something else because it's streaming. And that was really the only way I could make it through. I don't remember the runtime on this. I did feel it was a little long, but of course I feel every movie is a little long these days. If it's not a 22-minute comedy, sitcom, I get bored very easily. It takes me a while. I can't remember how long. I think I watched this in one showing. I may have watched this in one showing because I was doing other things at the time. So it's like ambiance in the background, playing in the background there. But other than that, okay, I'm done with it. I don't know what's next. I guess they're doing Superman next for DC in a few years. Who knows? I don't care. I'm not going to wait in on it. I'm not going to look in on news and stuff. I did see the trailer for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Yeah, I'll watch it. It looks interesting. I think I'm going to see that. My wife is a huge new Ghostbuster Afterlife fan. She thought that was the best movie of the year, better than the Spider-Man 3 movie from Tom Holland, which I disagree with, but she really loved it. So I'd probably watch that one when it comes out in March. But anyway, other than that, I'm done. We'll be back next week with Brandon and Wes on Princes of the Universe.